I'm now 1 month post-op, and I thought I would show you guys what my results look like. But before I do that, let me talk about a little something that has been pretty much bothering me for the last couple of weeks, and that is called post-op depression. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, what do you mean depression? Like, you just had surgery. Like, shouldn't you be excited that the fact that you don't have a big chest anymore, or the fact that you never have to bind ever again after surgery? But the truth is, this is very real. We need to stop shaming it, and it needs to be talked about a lot more, you know? Depression basically can come in many forms. You could just not want to do anything, and you never want to get out of bed. You just plain don't want to do anything, which is what I've been doing most of the time, even though sometimes I'll have little pangs of productivity. Like just yesterday, I put another page on my website, which is basically a list of packers arranged from lowest to highest price range, and that's pretty much as productive as I could have been in the last week or two. But most of the time, I'm literally sitting there watching Netflix, Hulu, or some random anime on Crunchyroll. Recently, I got into My Hero Academia, and it's really good. 10 out of 10 would watch again. I honestly recommend to any anime fans that may be watching this. But aside from that, I've been watching random shows. I've been playing video games, mostly on Steam, either Stardew Valley or some old school GTA 3, but really haven't been doing much, and I really hate myself for that. But the fact that like this depression has been eating away at me, because it's basically like my mood has basically evolved in three simple steps. Like after surgery, it was basically like, oh my god, I can't believe this actually happened, to yay. Then afterwards, it was like I have way too much time to myself, and I kind of hate myself for that, because I have all this time to do the things that I generally do not have time for. Because before, if you guys have been watching my videos, like I was basically swamped with retail work. Like I was working 6 a.m. shifts. I had to get up early. I only had time for just gym, meal prep, and that was pretty much it. And didn't really have time to make videos other than like that weekly Minoxidil update. I mean, sometimes I may have a little more time to make other videos, but in general, I don't have a laptop, so basically I'm generally not at home anymore, hence why the videos haven't really updated as I could have been. But yeah, this depression is really eating away at me, because before I wanted to do so many things and I had little time to do them, and now that I have all this time for myself and I'm not really doing much with it, and it bothers me a lot. And right now I'm still at the clutches, at the grips of post-op depression, because it's like, now what? What am I going to do? Now that surgery's done, like what exactly is the next step in my future? Because transition basically made me come a long way, but I still have quite a way to go, because I was watching somebody else's video, Alex Berti, and I was really thinking to myself like, okay, so I'm 25 years old, I got a job, I got a wonderful boyfriend who took care of me post-op, and now it's like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Because I know it's not going to be retail. Anyways, let's leave that question for another time, but I know you guys really want to see my chest, so here it is. I didn't really post pictures of it because, and this is a weird feeling a lot of people might not relate to, but I just don't feel like the need to show off my chest very much. Like maybe that's going to change when I go back to the gym in a couple weeks, which is also attributing to my depression, because to stay off depression, I would go to the gym and I would feel so much better, and the endorphins would just run through me and I'll feel like a bodily spiritual cleanse. But since I can't, and the best I could do right now is like cardio, I'm trying to use other alternative methods, and I haven't really come up with anything, but I'm feeling better, so that's good. Anyways, let me just stop talking. Let me show you what you guys really came for. So this is my chest. These are my nip nops. They turned a nice little pink, but they're not exactly the color of what my chest. It was a little darker, if I remember correctly. But the scars are looking great. They haven't discharged any bodily fluid. They said it's gonna sting, it's gonna hurt. There have been pangs of like sensation through my nips where I'm just like, ah. And like the worst part right now is that now that I'm wearing shirts, because I just recently started wearing t-shirts, it's rubbing up against the scars and the nips, and it's driving me crazy. So basically this is my scars. It's looking great for 1 month post-op. I've been using moisturizer at least once a day, sometimes twice a day if I feel like they're particularly dry. In like warmer temperatures, it tends to dry out really quickly, so I tend to put more because I have to stay quite nicely moisturized. And lately I've been using coconut oil for that, as per recommendation of somebody else. You can use whatever. You can use Aveeno with oatmeal in it. You can use Vaseline. You could use like coconut oil like I've been using, or you could just use something else. The fact is it has to be nicely moisturized if you want the scars to fade. So I've been using coconut oil, and I saw this person's results like 1 year later, and the scars have pretty much like almost disappeared. Still there, but like I literally could not notice it. So that would be nice. You could still notice it obviously because it's like I just had surgery a month ago, but they're going on the right track, and I've been really taking care of these. As you guys know, I always bitched about the post-op where I had to wear the surgical vest for 2 more weeks after surgery and change the Bacitracin antibacterial ointment and the dressings and the pads, and then afterwards I had to tape surgical tape with like non-stick pads over my nips with Vaseline, and now I'm just like moisturizing both of them with coconut oil, and there's no pool around here, so I don't have to worry about like getting in the water and getting it like filled with bacteria, because you know, got to take care of these things. I paid quite a good amount of money for them, so oh my god, I got to make sure these things are basically to the letter of my post-op instructions. After 1 month, I could honestly say the worst part of the surgery was the drains, because none of the post-op or like the surgery itself before that came close to the amount of annoyance that I got with the drains, because they were basically on like right underneath my armpits, and like my vest would be like right on like underneath the drain holes, and it would just like irritate the fuck out of me, and like moving was just horrible. Like I prayed that like I didn't have to go to the bathroom most of the time, because sitting down with barely moving your arms is so bad. Like 0 out of 10, would not recommend, would not do over. So I'm so glad I'm well past that point of drains, and it only lasted less than a week. So the surgery is the easy part, guys. Really, I really truly mean that. It's the drains that really suck. So thankfully there's 2 other surgeons I know of that don't take drains, which I believe is Dr. Raphael and Dr. Doolin. I don't know any other people that use like the drainless method for post-op like top surgery, but please put them down below and like give people some information. But those are the 2 surgeons on the top of my head that I can think of at the moment that avoid drains. So if that's something you're into, those are 2 surgeons you might want to look into. Aside from that, I'm healing very well. It really doesn't hurt. It's just mostly annoyance, especially right now. Like the tank top is brushing up against the scars, and it's like super sensitive, as well as my nips. It's like the nips, sometimes it'll be like itching or like just have pangs of like pain or like sensation, but generally they don't really have sensation, but it's coming back. It's like, I don't know how to describe the feeling. Like I'm touching my nipple right now and I can feel the pressure of it, but I don't feel it per se unless I'm touching the outer border of the nip where I actually do have sensation. But sometimes I'll get like sensations or pangs of it, so that might mean I might have nipple sensation, full or partial of it, in the future. Who knows? I'll come back with the results for you in the next coming months. But yeah, anywho, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, or you're just plain happy for me and my nips, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? And I will see you all real soon.